Alright, Shalom. Call Halaimla, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the Akim that are preaching and teaching with all truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Dawadah, the elect house of David, that is scattered abroad amongst the heathen, and that also look like the heathen, but their father's seed line goes back to the nation of Israel. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. I am Darash from Men of Valor Camp, Las Vegas. And tonight's lesson is going to be about, it's entitled, As One Body. So, we're going to go to the book of Ephesians. Let me get there one moment. This is Ephesians chapter 4, starting at verse 9. And it says, Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? So, the one who ascended and descended into the lower parts of the earth, that's Yahweh Shai. Now, most importantly, what did he come here to earth for? What was his purpose? What was his mission? So we're going to go to the book of John. This is going to be John chapter 6. Get there. This is going to be John chapter 6, verse 38. And it says, For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. So Yahweh Shai came into the flesh to do the will of his father Yahweh. So Yahweh Shai came here to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, in which he did, and to preach the doctrine, the gospel, to the scattered multitude, to the Israelites that were scattered all over, and ultimately to be that lamb without blemish that was to be sacrificed, to bring the nation of Israel in general as a whole back into the good graces of Yahweh, but mainly it was for the elect. All right, now we're going to go to the book of 2 Timothy. This is going to be, 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 3, starting at verse 16. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. The power was manifested in the flesh, Yahweh Shai, justified in the spirit, righteous to be righteous, seen of angels, and preached unto the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners, believed on in the world, received up into glory. So Yahweh Shai fulfilled the will of his Father in the flesh. And he was the one to conquer death. He was risen up, and he was given that glory and honor. He was given reverence. All right, now we're going to go back to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 10. And it says, He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai again. And roughly paraphrasing, all power was given unto me in the heaven and the earth. Verse 11, He gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers. Verse 12, For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. Verse 13, Till we all come in the unity of the faith, and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, and those things that he gave unto apostles, prophets, evangelists, some pastors, and some teachers were spiritual gifts, Every brother in the truth here has a talent that they could use for the building up and edification of the body. And, it's for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. So we use the gifts that we have to, push forth this doctrine, to, bring it out, to be more effective. That's our purpose, Now it says here, till we all come in the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, and Lord willing that we are those men, to come till we all come in the unity, of the faith, to be that elect that are, blameless, perfect, and the knowledge, so until then, until we're made perfect, we have to do what we have to do to the best of our ability until we become that perfect man unto the measure and stature of the fullness of Hamashiach. Next is going to be, this is going to be 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Chapter 12, verse 4. It says, now there are diversity of gifts, but the same Spirit. Verse 5, and there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. So, diversity of gifts, like I said, we all have our own unique talents in this truth, but we all do it for the same purpose. Different administration, different positions, what we do in certain camps, what is our job to do. If we're someone who's an artist, to make poster boards, or to be a teacher, an interpreter. As a matter of fact, let's go down. Verse 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same power, which worketh all in all. Verse 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. Verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge, by the same Spirit. 9. To another faith, by the same Spirit. To another the gifts of healing, by the same Spirit. Verse 10. To another the working of miracles. To another prophecy. To another discerning of spirits. To another diverse kinds of tongues. To another the interpretation of tongues. Verse 11. But all these worketh that one and the selfsame Spirit, dividing every man severally as he will. So, we have all the brothers that are in this truth have their own, unique spirit, unique gifts that they could use for the edification of the truth and the body of Hamashiach, the body being the church, the brotherhood. And it says, verse 12, for as the body is one, and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so is also Hamashiach. So the brotherhood is the body. Verse 13, for by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. So, of all the unique talents that we have individually, and being a part of this body, doing it to the best of our ability to make it function as it's supposed to, we are all baptized by the same Spirit, which is, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, through the Word. This is the baptism right here. So, many members, but one body, and we're all there to build each other up, to become better. If one of us goes off, the other is right there to correct. to make us better. That's part of the body. Now we're going to go back to Ephesians chapter 4, starting at chapter 4, verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. So, as you grow in this truth, you're not to be, as it says, tossed to and fro, being confused and carried about with every wind of doctrine. So, when you come into this and you get this truth, this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you should know better not to allow yourself to get caught up in the vain philosophies of this world, of these people, because it's all confusion. But Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is not the author of confusion. He's not a man that he should lie. Alright, and let's go to the book of Colossians real quick here. Chapter 2, verse 8. And it says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. So you have to be aware of those who do not follow or reject the doctrine, the sound doctrine of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because they think that they are wise in their own eyes, thinking that they know something when really they don't. Those kind of people you have to avoid. You have to, discern and, be able to know, okay, is this person for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai or no? But ultimately you have to avoid those type of people. Alright? So next I'm going to close out here with the book of Romans. This is going to be Romans chapter 15, verse 5. Alright, and now it says, now the power of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one towards another, according to Yahushua HaMashiach. Alright, and it says here, verse 6, that ye may with one mind and one mouth glorify the power, even the Father of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. So, to be like-minded, that means to be on one accord, to be in agreement. As a body, the brothers, we are on one accord to be like-minded, which means that we're all on the same page. There's no mishaps, no confusion, no disagreements or arguments or to be on one accord, basically. Us being in the flesh, we're going to go off. But as I said before, that's why we're there to correct one another. So that way we make sure that we keep ourselves, excuse me, keep ourselves sharp for, roughly paraphrasing, for iron sharpeneth iron. And that's what the brotherhood is for, We're supposed to build each other up and edify. It's for our own betterment. So, I'll read it again. Verse 5, Romans chapter 15, verse 5, now the power of patience and consolation grants you to be like-minded one towards another, according to Yahweh HaMashiach. Verse 6, that ye may with one mind and one mouth glorify the power, even the Father of our Lord Yahweh HaMashiach. So, one mind and one mouth, speaking the same sound doctrine. That's what it means to be as one body. The church, which is the body of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Alright, so I hope that this lesson was edifying unto the body. And for those that are new coming into this with all truth and sincerity, I hope that it was edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the Akim that are preaching and teaching with all truth and sincerity, and unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. and unto the Bayath of Dawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad amongst the heathen, and that also look like the heathen, but their father's seed line goes back to the nation of Israel, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Once again, I am Darash from Men of Valor Camp, Las Vegas. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala wa Ababa Bal. Shalom.